Oh, yes. I mean, what a call to come over there and try to get her. Come on, baby. Right here, right here. Yes. That's what I'm talking about. Look at that. Flipping jig down the throat. I missed this fish earlier on a swim jig. Come back over there, threw the flipping jig in there. We got her. We freaking got her. I mean, you couldn't have scripted that any better. Hey everyone, Bill Lowen here, and today we're going to talk about one of my absolute favorite ways to fish, and that is flipping and pitching. You know, and I think when we think about flipping and pitching, we're always thinking about docks and heavy cover and things like that, you know, grass mats. And we very rarely talk about just going down the bank, flipping the isolated pieces of wood and laydowns and things like that. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about here today. And we're going to talk about my two favorite baits. You know, you always hear me talk about trying to trigger that reaction bite and fish. And as you can see right here, I have a 4-inch flipping tube tied on. Probably, if they told me I had one bait to use the rest of my career, this is what it's going to be. You can see I got it rigged with a 1/4 ounce arc tungsten weight, and it is not pegged. Okay, and what that does with this bait is gives me the ability, when I come up to a piece of cover, to flip it, pitch it, whatever I may be doing, but it gives me that ability to snap that bait around. And when you snap that bait around, that weight will separate from that tube, and this tube's going to dart, flip around, do things that it wouldn't do if it was pegged. And what that does for me is it triggers a reaction bite. Okay. You hear us talk about triggering that reaction bite all the time, and a tube for me triggers that bite. Get you some bites that you necessarily may not get. My second bait is going to be a jig. Everybody that's a flipper or a pitcher loves to throw a jig. You know, that bait tends to get that better than average bite. For me, if I'm just going down the bank flipping, I'm going to be going with a 3/8 or a 1/2 ounce, depending on the mood I feel like those fish are in. Sometimes I want a slower fall, sometimes I want a faster fall. So if you're a flipper and a pitcher like me, these two baits right here are going to get you bites when nothing else will. One of the biggest key players to this, you know, aside from the Invoker Tour flipping rod and the bait selection that you choose, is the line that you choose. Okay, this is not a technique where you're going to want to be fishing with 12 or 15 pound test line. You know, for me, when I'm going down the bank flipping, it's always going to be a 20 or 22 pound Tatsu from Seaguar. As far as I'm concerned, Tatsu is the best flipping line that I've ever had on a rod and reel. It is a thinner diameter line, but it is a very strong line. Okay, so just remember that. You want a thinner diameter line that is very, very strong, and that's exactly what you get with Tatsu. Like I said, my choices is 20 or 22 pound when I'm going down the bank flipping. Like I said, take these techniques, these couple baits, try to get you some Tatsu line for flipping, and I guarantee at the end of the day, you're going to be a happy man.